This is Ogden, Utah, a city full of unique and diverse stories from all kinds of communities. From Union Station that brought the country together, to the Ogdenites that have lived here for generations, to the residents with disabilities that enrich and inspire our community, to the new Americans who have decided to call Ogden home. These are some of the stories you'll hear on this series. Welcome to the Untold Stories of Ogden City.
Welcome to the Untold Stories of Ogden City. I'm Rebekah.
I'm Cammie.
And I am Gabe.
Today we are talking more in depth about the accessibility and accommodations we have received in Ogden as residences with disabilities.
And before we get started, we can introduce our guest/friend, Casey.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Casey Reyes, and I'm so happy to be with you all today.
And then our first topic of today is accommodations that people don't notice. So for instance, I use my phone to zoom things in with my camera setting, and I sometimes do take a picture of it just to read it or just yeah.
So what are some things that you zoom in on? Can you use some examples?
So I zoom it on mostly when I go to restaurants, those boards and those menus on the back. Say for Arby's, for example, they have those boards you can look up and I can't really see them. So literally I just had to get my phone out and just zoom it in to see what they have or what I want.
I do the same thing.
Screen readers to access text and complete assignments. And it also lets me know what letter I typed.
I also like to use my cane to travel and to go out in the community. And also, we do a program called Stateside Adventure and go on class trips. And I experienced my first time doing that, going to Nashville by plane. And I was really nervous at that time when I had to fly for the first time because I never done it before, but so far so good since I've liked it and done it with my family before and showed off my independent living and all different tools and skills, and I like flying now.
That's awesome, Cammie. Can you talk about some of the accommodations that you had when you were traveling, maybe on the plane or in the airport?
I know I used, I forget what you call it, but it's that ramp thing that moves where you have to walk really fast.
Oh yeah, it's like a walking sidewalk, things.
Yeah, a walking sidewalk.
Or a moving sidewalk, sorry.
Yeah. And also, just use VoiceOver to navigate all different apps that I use for mostly Amazon Music for listening to music and messages and phone for communication, etc. And I also used audio description for when we're at the Hill Theater for watching plays and sometimes concerts, and use audio description when I was with my siblings a couple weekends watching 2 shows and 1 movie that had a good audio description, because the 2 shows did had audio description, but it was a British voice and kind of didn't really like it. So I liked the movie better because it described fully in good details.
Yeah, audio description is so cool. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically a narrator or a voice that speaks during plays or during movies. And it just gives those who are blind or visually impaired small little details that are common knowledge for those who can see. For instance, an audio description will say when a scene changes, like back at Jerry's house, or it'll say, it will talk about facial expressions, like Sally looked at him with glassy eyes, like just small little details that we as blind people cannot see, and those details go so far into the storytelling, and they could impact our interpretation of the story in the movie. And I mean, it's pretty helpful to me. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in
Sorry,
you-
can I? Okay. So
Okay.
I just want to like bring this out, because I don't think it came up yet, but we
Mhm.
also use Braille
Yeah.
to read the things. Like we use Braille like to like know where we are at or reading sometimes.
Absolutely. Braille is really cool. It's for those who don't know, it's a 6-dot code. 1, 2, 3, 4,
4,
5,
5,
6.
6.
Yes. And those Braille is made up of a combination of all of those dots. And it's really cool. But a disadvantage of Braille is, as we all know, is it can take up a lot of volumes.
Mhm.
Like, for example, Harry Potter. Oh my gosh, how many volumes is Harry Potter? Like 12 or something? And it's a lot for each book because it's so long. Braille is so dense.
Yeah. There's also 2 parts of Braille. So there's uncontracted and contracted.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like contracted better because it makes mostly words and group vowel ending, sometimes consonant endings, a lot shorter, so that way you're not taking a long time reading so many words. I think like letter by letter. That's my way of how I would describe it.
Yeah, contracted and uncontracted. I remember when I was first learning contracted Braille, I was like, why is this necessary? Why can't I just learn uncontracted Braille? But then I noticed that contracted Braille is just everything spelled out, like all the letters of all the words spelled out. But contracted Braille shortens everything. Like, for those who don't know, the Braille alphabet, every word, every letter is associated with a word. Like A is for A, B is for but, C is for can. So it's so much faster to read C, the letter C, than CAN, right? And this is, it goes for other ways too, like other more complex words like necessary. Rather than spelling out the whole word necessary, the contraction for necessary is what? NEC.
NEC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dot 5 contractions like
Yes.
dot 5 M is for mother and
Mhm.
so on
Yeah.
and so on. But
There's also BC for because, which I use a lot when I slang, like when I'm I slang a lot when I'm texting.
What's your guys' favorite Braille contraction?
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to say NCE.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How about you, Gabe? Do you have a favorite Braille
I
contraction?
just like the dot 5 contractions
Dot
for some
5?
very odd reason, and also the numbers.
Nice. Rebecca, what's your favorite Braille contraction?
I liked the short form words.
What's
Yeah,
your favorite
that's a
short
good
form
one.
word?
Against.
Nice. I think my favorite contraction is knowledge. K.
Okay. Okay. And then, should we move into our next topic?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Our next one, we're going to talk about how accommodations need to be more improved on out in the community.
So, basically, what I have noticed is sometimes whenever I do try to read Braille, sometimes it's incorrect or for some very odd reason. I notice that people like to scratch the Braille off with their fingernails sometimes, and it makes it hard for us to read. And sometimes the Braille is usually incorrect, like from that museum that we went a couple of weeks ago.
Or there could be some misspelled words.
Yeah,
or
there
just
were
typos.
typos, misspelled. It just brings out like it just shows that how for us it just shows how careless they care about it. But they actually do correct it. We feel like they know, like they do care.
No, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. I I think it's so important to have Braille be correct in all public places, no matter where you go, whether that be restaurants, museums, government buildings, stuff like that. Because, I mean, let's say I'm trying to go find the men's bathroom, right? And
Yeah.
the Braille is incorrect.
Yeah.
Maybe
'cause-
what if I go to the wrong bathroom? Or,
Oh yeah, that
right?
can happen.
Or it's like
That's happened to
scratched
me.
out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know that when I go somewhere and the Braille is correct consistently, it makes me feel valued. Like, it makes me feel that like the place that I'm going to cares about everyone, all guests, no matter their ability or disability, right? And it's a really good feeling, right? When the Braille is correct.
Yeah, that's good because you want to have like people that do care about your disability. Or, I mean, there's been some times where my parents and siblings sometimes don't, but I try to I have to show them that when I'm trying to ask for if Daddy could set up the audio description on his iPad so I can enjoy movies with my family, but using headphones. That way they're not hearing the audio description out loud.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing that could be more improved is when using the TVs on the Delta airline plane. Sometimes, well, most of the time, they're not really accessible or screen reader friendly because I've experienced these before and had to have my dad help me and told him if there's a way that they can make this accessible for me in the future for when I'm using the TV so that I can like navigate it with my assistive technology skills and using the screen reader. I can't remember exactly what they said, but all I know is that they don't have that, and that's a concern because how can you use something that you already know what it is, but that's not accessible yet?
I completely agree with you, Cami.
And I,
It's not just for Delta too. I think this goes for all airlines, really, right?
yeah.
Like, you know that all like there's TV shows and apparently there's also games, I was told, on these TVs. And
Yeah, but don't really like games, mostly shows.
yeah, TV shows are awesome.
Yeah.
We're also
Especially
passengers, too.
awesome with audio description now that
Yes.
I'm used to it. Because back in my childhood, I wasn't really into that
Absolutely.
until now.
I would like to include something.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the something cone. What was it called? Like the bubbles.
Oh yeah,
The truncated domes.
Yeah,
Yes,
truncated domes.
Truncated domes, yes.
Mhm.
Sometimes I notice that some of them are like out of line, like they're supposed to let the blind people or visually impaired to go straight, but sometimes it's
And to
like
stop at a crosswalk.
sometimes it's just like somewhere else, or it's just like diagonal, or it's just something like that.
Yeah, the truncated domes are very helpful because they help blind people identify when we're at an intersection, right? Especially busy intersections like 25th Street in Washington, for instance. It's very important that the truncated domes be installed properly because I've seen them where it's wrapped around the whole edge of the intersection, right? So it's kind of tricky to use those domes to line up when you cross the street because it may be misleading. Because you use the truncated domes to line up, but then rather than the truncated domes being positioned to help you make a straight cross to the intersection directly in front of you, they may position you to, if you cross, you're going to walk into the middle of the intersection, which is very, very not safe, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's so important that when the traffic engineers are installing these great tools, that they take into consideration how they can be used, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and I also liked how like some of the sidewalks, like say those like lights, like you just push the button to go across the street.
Oh, the APS systems.
Yeah, the APS.
Yes.
I like how they always tell, like I don't think the normal people like when it says wait, wait, wait. But for us, it's actually quite helpful because we actually know when to walk and when to like wait. Also, and I wish there was more of that, to be honest.
Oh, why so? Why so?
Because I like usually in the day,
Yeah.
like around the daytime, like seeing those like red hand and that white person symbol,
Mhm.
it's been hard for me to see it. And then at right by our school, I just liked how it just says wait, and then it says you can go, and then that's basically it from I can't remember what you said.
From the APS system.
Yeah,
yes.
the APS system.
No,
And-
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember you talking about something about the bus system and the train system like being delayed and it's like not on the website.
Yes. Yes. So I'll talk about both those things. So going back to the APS system, the automated pedestrian sign, I think that's what it's called, APS. Those talking signs. Those are helpful, especially in very, very busy intersections, right? Where, of course, all blind people who receive services from their blind school or their training centers, they learn how to cross the street. We know how to cross the street, but the APS system is just an added measure of accessibility that we can use in conjunction with our orientation and mobility skills, right? Of course, we're going to listen for the parallel and perpendicular cars, but then to have that reassurance that I hear the surge, I hear my parallel cars coming towards me or going away from me, and to hear the APS say walk sign is on, it just gives me an extra reassurance that yes, I am crossing the street correctly. And that extra bit of reassurance is very helpful, especially in instances where the crossing is super dangerous, like I'm crossing underneath a highway or I'm crossing near an on-ramp of a freeway, something like that. In those instances, they're always very, very helpful. And then to tackle the inaccessibility of buses and the detours, yeah, those things are kind of hard to access because they're not really put in a place that is accessible for blind people. As we know, especially here in Ogden, there's so much construction going on. At Weber State, construction, like I know over the past few years, they've been trying to work on the OGX. I was going to school here when the OGX was being built, so that very much impacted my bus routes going home and coming to school every day. And when those first started happening, there was a lot of confusion because I didn't know that my usual bus stop was not going to be used temporarily. It was temporarily out of service, and I didn't know that. That information was not posted in the transit app, and the transit app is an app that's so cool. It's an app that finds your location, and based on where you are, it's going to show you the next arrival and departure times of buses, trains. You can order a Lyft or an Uber from the app as well. Really, really helpful. And those updates were not accurate. They were not posted in the app, and I couldn't find a way to access them online, whether that be through the UTA website. But I know that they're posted in other places, like on the UTA's Twitter account, X account. But the moral of the story is it's not really too easy for a blind or visually impaired person to access them. Like, I would like to know exactly where these detours are going to take place. I would like to know where the temporary bus stops are. Like, I'll give another example. When I was going to take the bus 603, which is no longer a thing, as they were doing construction to build the OGX, I was transferring to the 603 to go to the Ogden station. The bus stop was a small little like cardstock sign that was just in front of someone's grass, and if I didn't have my guide dog there with me, I don't think that I would have ever found that bus stop. Like, my dog does know what a bus stop looks like. She generalizes it, but it took us forever to find the bus stop, and it was in such a weird place, right? There was cars parked around there, so there was no way for me to know for sure that was a bus stop. So, and I mean, I can get the information other ways. Like, another way that I've tried is I've called the UTA office and say, hey, can you please tell me about the detours that is affecting this bus and that bus, right? But oftentimes it takes me to the Salt Lake office, and oftentimes they don't really know what's going on in Ogden. But anyway,
We should probably move to our next topic.
yeah, sure.
I'm going to talk about the experiences you've gotten to have through accommodations.
So I'm kind of like a sports fan. I like to go to watch some sports every once in a while. Like I like watching basketball, like in the Utah Jazz or something like that. But lately, it's been kind of hard for me to see. Like there's like this big like screen in the middle where above the court. I used to be able to see it well, but lately I haven't until when Casey told me there was something called One Sport.
Yeah, One Court. Yeah.
One Court. Yeah. Do you want? I haven't used it yet, but he has. But
absolutely,
you can tell what it is. I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, One Court is a really, really cool device. So it's a display, and it can be used in different sports. Like it can be used for football, basketball, soccer, baseball, and it's a map, and it basically shows you vibrations of where the players are at on the field or on the court. So normally you'll have your headphones on, listening to the color commentary, or maybe the announcers and the overhead speakers in the arena are going to be telling you what's happening. But then
like it's giving you like audio description.
Yeah. So you're getting the auditory feedback, and then you can see where they're actually at using these vibrations. And it's really, really helpful. Like I used it when I went to a demonstration of the One Court device at a conference last summer, and they put on a football game, right? And basically the commentary was going off, they were talking and everything, and then as the commentary was talking, I was able to see where they were at on the field. Like I remember it was the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs versus the Patriots, and the commentary was going and said Isaiah Pacheco ran for a 6-yard run, and now they're at the Patriots 5, and so it makes the sports experience more immersive, because not only am I able to listen and to know what's happening, but then I'm actually almost able to feel it. It's like almost being able to watch the game with your eyes, but we're using our finger to access it.
Yeah, and then speaking of sports, there is a couple of sports for like the visually impaired. Like one of them, me and Casey play.
Yes.
Is called goalball. So if anybody who doesn't know goalball I'll just give a brief description of what it is. So there's 3 people on each side of a court, and they're both trying to block the goal. But the thing is, they're blindfolded, and they had to use their feelings, not their feeling, like their touch senses.
All their senses,
yeah.
Hearing.
On the ground, there's usually like tape with
raised lines.
Yeah, with raised lines, and then we had to score a goal with this ball. Like I technically think it's like the size of a basketball, but it's just a very thick basketball, but has bells. But the only way you can block it is just use your hearing, and then use your body to slide your body to hear where it's coming from. And it's pretty fun sport. I've been doing it for probably 5 years or 4 years now.
Nice.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for a long time. I've been playing since I was 9, and I'm 23 now, so almost 15 years. Long time.
Yeah.
But it's really fun because it's a great sport that helps you work on your skills, like your communication skills, your orientation and mobility, like the raised lines and you're blindfolded.
Skills.
Yeah, your listening skills, teamwork. Not only do you gain a lot of valuable skills, but I've been able to meet some of my best friends from these sports, and connections through going to tournaments and everything. And it's really fun. You want to talk about some of the tournaments that you've been to?
So I've been to 3 tournaments, probably 4, I can't remember. But basically, I went to Texas and Florida because they switch off those 2 because
for the national tournament.
Yeah, national tournaments. So the national tournaments is a high school like team that comes from every state, like from Georgia, Maine, and etc. And they
Everywhere,
all come
California.
to Texas or Florida. And it's like this big national event. And if you get like third place, you get a third place medal. Second place, a silver medal, or like first place, you get like a gold medal. And then lately, our girls team has actually got first place in national 2 times in a row,
Yes.
which we thought it was not possible because Florida was
Oh
a
yeah.
really tough team
Always.
to beat.
Every year they are.
They are.
Mhm.
They always win, but basically it's like a really fun experience. And usually when I went to Florida, we spent a couple of days, extra days, just to have fun because it was like right by Universal Studios. We also went to a beach beach a couple of times, and it was really quite fun. And it was kind of fun being around like all like the people that have blindness and get to know them every once in a while. Like
Yeah.
you do see them every once in a while, like every tournament, but some of them probably like graduated or something.
Mhm.
But I actually made a friend from my last tournament from Texas. Too bad I didn't get his phone number, which I'm kind of upset about that. But
Go to
it's
more
like
tournaments. Maybe go see him.
yeah, maybe. But it's actually pretty fun. And do you guys want to say any fun activities?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Rebecca. Sorry, I didn't.
Percussion's ensemble, like, I get to experience brand new instruments and or even instruments that you had heard of before. And there were students playing them. And there was a boy named Sam.
Can you tell them what the instruments were?
Like, there's some kind of xylophone and steel pans and different marimbas and different kinds of drums. And they started with bagpipes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We also went to Boston.
Oh, like the stateside
Stateside
adventures?
Yeah, stateside adventure.
Yeah.
And we did a food pizza tour and
We also did I remember
got to try cannolis.
Yeah. I remember we did like some fun activities over there. Like we went to Salem. We also, me and Casey, I don't know if you were in our group, Cami.
No, I wasn't.
So we were having this like little scavenger hunt, like for like known for the history around Boston.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty fun time.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And all these events are put on by the School for the Blind, like
Yeah,
the Stateside Adventure, these various traveling events. I've been to study abroad. I've done study abroad twice. I went to Australia and Canada, and there's a lot of really cool learning experience because that was the first time that I traveled anywhere, let alone outside of the country by myself, like without my parents. And so when we were preparing for these trips, whether that be study abroad or stateside adventures, there's usually coursework that we have to do, such as communication skills, like learning how to advocate for yourself.
Team leaders.
Yeah, leader of the day. Leader
of the day.
Yeah.
Really cool.
To be honest, I kind of did panic when I was chosen for the leader of the day.
I did too. You want to talk about leader of the day?
Basically, the leader of the day is basically you're in charge of like giving people the directions to where to go and the times. And to be honest, I've actually first met Casey in the Stateside Adventure, and we're actually friends.
What places we're going to?
Yeah.
What did you like about Stateside Adventure, Cami?
I would just say my favorite first one that I did mention before, which was when I first ever flowed on a plane, was going to Nashville. And going to the Tennessee School for the Blind and becoming friends with Sonia Numa and Abigail Sweet, girls that were both visually impaired. And also going to the Country Music Hall of Fame and getting my voice recorded, me singing it Breathe by Johnny Diaz at the recording studio.
Yes.
That was
Can
fun.
I say something?
Sure.
Sure. Like, at the Country Music Hall of Fame, I got to experience seeing the Air Church and the Keith Urban exhibits, and also I got to be recorded to sing Wild Hearts by Keith Urban. And I also liked the Irish restaurant and get to try new Irish foods.
And different Nashville
and
foods.
Different Nashville foods.
Yeah, Nashville hot chicken got me. And another thing that got me was we played goalball with the Tennessee School for the Blind. So Utah, we built a team. Tennessee had a
I had a
team.
conversation with
It was
Abby. It was
It was
fun.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We
Right.
lost by 1 point. So,
You did?
Yeah, we lost by 1 point. It was still a really good time though. Tennessee, they got some goalball players up there though.
Yeah, and I did like the stateside adventure. I went to the Boston one. That's the only one I went. We went to like Salem, and my favorite part is when we went to Helen Keller's like school for the like.
Oh yeah, Perkins School for the
Yeah,
Blind.
Perkins School for the
Yes,
Blind.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
from what I've heard, is probably like the first actual school for the blind in America. I
They're
think.
very well known. Very well known.
Yeah, and it's actually where Helen Keller was taught at. So
Yes, it was so cool. We learned about how the blind school, like how education for blind people has evolved from
Yeah.
Perkins, and how it really impacts how they do things even now here at the Utah School for the Blind.
yeah.
Right?
And then we actually do like little small activities like around here. Like we do go to lagoons, to the Lagoon Amusement Park, Teen Escape. And Rebecca, you said you went skiing one time around here?
And I went cross country skiing one time
And snowshoeing.
and snowshoeing and I like a little bit of both. I liked flat grounds. That's my all-time favorite part about cross country skiing, and I also like experiencing the difference between the two different skis and others ski stuff.
Yeah.
So you would do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. Awesome.
So is that like everything then?
Oh, one more.
Okay.
Or horseback riding. Like, I get to listen to country music while I was riding and during my journey, and I get to meet new people, and also at Lagoon I like riding on the merry-go-round and eating the lagoon foods.
I like trying different foods.
Yes.
Food is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laguna has some really good chicken tenders. They're
Yeah.
really good.
Before we wrap up, I almost forgot one thing.
Yeah.
I actually went to a couple of the School for the Blind camps.
Oh,
there
yes.
was one a couple of times I actually went to this campus at Weber, and then one was like at this like little ranch right by, I only know it's like right by the Grand Canyon.
I think it's called
sort
the
of.
Rocky Mountain Ranch or something.
I think it might be that, but it was pretty fun. We had like really fun activities. Like in one time in this Weber State camp,
Abilities, I think
yeah,
is what it was.
I think it was actually that.
Yeah.
So Camp Ability, we actually went to this like American Ninja Warrior thing. Like, what was it called?
Yeah, it was the Ninja Gym.
Yeah, the Ninja Gym.
Ninja Gym, yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember we actually went bowling here too. That was like our like camper guide always says every year we must bowl at Weber State, and we
That's
always
right.
have. And I think that's probably the sums it up. So
Yeah, Camp Abilities though, it holds a special place in my heart because I went to many Camp Abilities here in Utah, and like the last Camp Abilities I went to as a student, it was before my freshman year, and it was at Weber State, and so it was really cool for me because I was able to do a lot of other really cool blind sports, and then kind of do a little small tour of Weber State because this is the place where I started my college career. I got to go to Campus Rec, meet them, because we did a lot of our activities in the gym here. Like we did speed and accuracy here, SAQ, and it was really, really cool for me to like bring my two worlds together, the blind school community and my college campus. It was a really, really fun experience. And now, this summer, I'm going to work at another Camp Abilities out of Utah. Camp Abilities Four Corners is going to be in Arizona. And, we're going to make more memories there.
Mhm.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, so I think we cover all the 3 topics. So,
Absolutely.
so what we talked about is about combinations that people don't notice that we use.
Also talked about accommodations that we can be more improved on out in the community.
And Rebekah?
We talked about the experiences that we had, like, for example, cross-country skiing, Nashville, horseback riding.
So, thanks for joining in, and please leave a like or comment down below and tune in for the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Thank you for tuning in to the Untold Stories of Ogden City, a podcast made possible by the amazing people at Ogden City, Weber State University, and 2892 Miles to Go. And of course, the youth of Ogden. Please give this series a follow so you can hear more exciting stories from around Ogden City and hear more about its rich history. If you'd like to know more about 2892 Miles to Go and the work they are doing to tell community stories around the country, visit their website at 2892walk.org. That is 2892walk.org.